Alright, what's up computer art students? Today we're going to create an image that looks like this, designed by a fellow colleague of mine by the name of Miss Lori Taylor over at Park Center Senior High. So thank you, Lori, for letting us borrow your creation. We're going to use this image to kind of revamp our Photoshop skills and to enhance some things. By all means, if you're in computer art B or C and you feel like you have a good handle on how to create an image like this, the file, I'll show you the file in a second, but all the images that you'll need, the stock images, are located in the folder for you. So let's jump over there. You're going to create an image like this for practice, but then you're going to alter it to make it creative. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way, close out preview. And to locate this folder, locate the assignment drive, which is here on your desktop. Find my name under Computer Art B or C or A. Actually, it's also an A, but it's number 1 Photoshop Basics. All right, and it's called Autobiographical Poster. So you can click on this folder and actually drag it to your desktop. That way you can pull it up and use it without having to go on the network and drives all the time. Okay. Within this poster, we have an example. We have a blank template and the items you need to create it. Here they are, the Photoshop documents. The JPEG was just the example I just showed you, but we're going to open up the blank template. Double click on the blank template, it'll bring it up over here. Okay, notice we have a layer 1, which is a turquoise color, and a layer 2, which is blank. Okay. So here is the background color, the turquoise. I kind of made a starting point for us. This is our work, our starting work. So I got rid of the white background, don't really need it. But I labeled the turquoise background. Okay, and what we're going to do is work from a Word document, your worksheet. Here it is. Lesson number 1 is background. This is what we're going to do today. Color swatches, number 1. 2 is color picker. Number 3 is paint bucket. 4 is polygon lasso tool. 5 gradient tool, and 6 is deselect. If you've had Computer Art A, you've probably worked through this, but this is just a quick pre-test and practice for you. Okay, so we're going to go through this. You probably know all this stuff already, but it doesn't hurt to practice more. Okay, so number 1 is color swatches. Color swatches, as a reminder, are located here, but always look through your window. Okay, the window is, we can locate any kind of our palettes through our window. So the swatches is here. Let's go, I just closed it down, so let's go back and open it up. Okay, here's our swatches, and these are the default settings for Photoshop under the swatches. Now if I don't find a color I want, I can, we can switch color modes. We can, a whole bunch of different types of color modes you can find here. Okay, if you don't find what you're looking for, or else you can go over to your color picker, which is number 2. Color picker is located here on your toolbar. We can choose, let's say I want a magenta color, or I picked magenta before. Let's try more of an orange, like a brownish kind of nasty orange there, like that. Okay. Click OK, and notice that'll change my foreground color in my color picker. Now if I wanted this, I could add it to my swatches, and I could label it orange brown. Okay, click OK, and notice where it appears. It appears right after, at the end of all the other swatches, and I can load up a whole bunch of colors that I need for my document into the swatches if I want. Click cancel. Okay. This is the foreground color in my color picker. This is the background color. We can swap those by clicking on the arrow. Here is the default settings for the swatches. Okay. All right. Number 3, paint bucket. Paint bucket. Let's start a new layer. Okay. Whenever you use multiple layers in a document, or you're going to use multiple colors, always choose a new layer. It's easier to delete a layer than it is to delete something on a previous layer or something else. So let's open that up, close down the eye in the background, and we'll just use the paint bucket tool to put in our turquoise color. So let's just go to our color picker, choose a turquoise. Let's see how good we are at eyeballing it. Maybe a little bit more blue, actually. Well, right in there like that. Click OK, and then with our paint bucket, all we simply need to do is click once, and there it fills it. You can see I'm a little bit off, but that's all right. Okay. I'll just label this alternative. Next on the list, number 4, is polygonal lasso tool. Okay. Notice I have created a couple of guidelines. This is called a guideline, and here's a guideline. To create your guidelines, and it might be beneficial to you, it might not, you might not like it, but I kind of like it. It helps kind of organize my composition a little bit better. If you go to View, go down to Rulers, click on Rulers. See, mine just went away because I had it selected already. If I go to Rulers or Apple R, it'll pull up your rulers. Okay. Now to get a guide to just pull down straight from the ruler and line it up. Simply as that. Okay. I can move this over. I can put it back on my, get rid of it, back on my ruler, or I can bring it back out again. It should snap into place halfway between the edges of my work document. Okay. Because I have my snap selected. You can have your snap selected as well, and that'll help you with your guide. Still on the polygonal lasso tool. Okay, so the polygonal lasso tool is located the third one down from the top in CS5. We're in polygonal lasso tool. We have some different options, lasso and polygonal lasso tool. You can activate that quickly by hitting the L key on your keyboard. Let's start a new layer and start some beams, because as we go to our example, if we open this up, we can see that we want these beams, okay, in the background. So that's what we're going to create right now. We're going to start somewhat off the side of our crosshairs, because I don't want to start, wherever you start and stop with the polygonal lasso tool, it's going to create your marching ant selection. So I'm going to start slightly off the edge where they cross. I'm going to click here, and it'll see how it snaps right to the line. I like that. So that's going to create a more precise line for me. I'm going to hold down Shift to constrain to a perfectly 90-degree angle and click again, and you have to click to activate these things, and I'm going to put it right now in the center of my crosshairs. Click again and just keep working around. Try to eyeball it the best you can and put them in the center each time. Try to eyeball the distance between each beam. Make sure you don't click once you see that center or that circle, because we don't want to close it out yet, because we're not done with the whole shape. You're going to have to start over if that happens, and that's really, really annoying. Okay, you don't want to have to start over if you don't need to. That's one of the things I don't necessarily like about the polygonal lasso tool. There are probably better ways to do this in Photoshop, but for our purposes now, this is the way we're going to do it. You could also use the shape tool and create your own polygonal shape tool and repeat it and bend it with Edit Transform, but you know, that might create more layers and more work for us ultimately. So about 3/4 of the way done here. You're being so patient. You may fast forward this if you want to, if you're getting bored. Work along with me. Pause it. Work along. Work it out. I like that snap option because it helps us get it perfect. Be careful not to hold down the Shift key too soon, or else you're going to have problems. Okay, go back to your, there it is. You see the little circle pop up? That's our symbol for an enclosed path. I'm going to close it out just like that, and we're ready to move on to the next thing. Number 5, gradient tool. So with the gradient tool, we're going to go over to the paint bucket, and it's the same button. Hold down the mouse key on the paint bucket and select the gradient tool. There's options along the top for the gradient tool. We have a linear gradient, we have a radial gradient, kind of a cone gradient, and this one is called a reflected gradient, and then we have a diamond gradient. And we have some modes, some blending modes, and opacity. Okay? We're just going to select, these are some default settings for gradient. Let's just click on any old one, and then we have some gradients over here as well. We can also go to Window to find our gradients if you cannot see them anywhere. It used to be here. Okay, CS5 has changed. That's interesting. Okay, so gradients are not there anymore. Looks like gradient map, Posterize, looks like we have some other things here. With the gradients, if you click up here on your gradient bar, it'll open up the gradient editor. And you can change, right now we selected just this one with the red, blue, and yellow. But we can change that color by just sliding the bar if we want to. We can click on the color and drag it off so it gets rid of the red. We can move this, slide these over. We can double click on a color and change it to our foreground, which is over here in our color picker. And that's kind of what I want, I think, but I'm going to change it slightly to, let's say, I'm going to change this one to white. That's going to be my background. I want to change that to white. And I'm going to darken this up, because I want it to look like our example back here. So I want to darken a darker blue back in through there and kind of a lighter blue as we get closer. Now if we wanted to add colors to this, all we have to do is click on the gradient, and we can add and we can change these colors into any color we want to. So you can get a brighter blue. You can change this to, you can change any color you want. It's really up to you. If you don't want them, you can flick them off and they go away. Okay, you can organize them however you'd like. Okay, and get creative with it. Actually, I'm going to get rid of this white action. I'm going to flick this one off of there, move this over, flick this one off. I don't really need all these. I'm just going to blend these down. But I want something that's going to kind of look like a dark to light gradient. Okay, so I think those are working for me. I'm going to click OK. And now with my gradient tool, I can just start at the top and drag down along my guide, and it'll kind of blend it in like that. Okay, I can also choose the radial tool, and the radial tool might be better because we are kind of working in a radial pattern. Okay, but this time, notice I started down here and it kind of radiated out. I can click the reverse button and do that again, and that way I'm going to get the dark on the outside edge. More so like that. Alright? For our purposes, that'll work. And let's see what it looks like under number 6. Number 6 is deselect. What I want to do is deselect my selection by going to select, deselect, or Apple D is a quick command key on your keyboard. Apple D. And there is our first step under lesson 1. Good luck.